Wow! What's happening, everybody? It's your boy. Yes, sir. We back. Welcome to Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. I am he, your host, and I have a treat for you guys today. Man, listen. Well, first, before I get into introductions, let me tell y'all about this little chick. Now, getting on the podcast, right? I know today Monday, and I know we kind of off. I get it. But look, we getting on a podcast. She coming on the podcast, got a book full of notes, got her all professional stuff out, saying, boy, girl, get on here and talk to the people. Listen, family, I have a very dear friend of mine. We go all the way back to when I was almost knee high to a grasshopper. We way back. We way back. Like you say, way back in the gap. But
Mhm.
this is one of my friends and one of my dear, one of my girls. We love her, her family, her hubby, all those people. That's my people. That's my folk, as people would say. But I want to introduce her to the world. She is a phenomenon. She's an amazing woman. She was telling me what LPC stands for with the dash and the S. I was like, girl, I don't care what that means. You license that something. But all seriousness, guys, she is amazing. Now, I'm cracking jokes and I'm laughing and I'm saying a lot of funny stuff, but let's be very clear. She is absolutely a beast when it comes to counseling. She is not a joke. She is not for play, and she ain't cheap. So for y'all that's talking about Stanley, can I get it for free? No, get your coins together. All right. But seriously, I want to make sure, as we always do, to open up you guys to very powerful people, men and women across the world. So whether you're in Jamaica, whether you're in South London, South Africa, south of France, or whether you're in South America, I don't care what South you are or North. I want to introduce you guys to my girl, my friend. I want to call you doctor. Girl, when you getting your doctorate degree? But none other than none other
They do
than
call me Doc
Lady
sometimes.
Chimala Sublette, huh?
They do call me
Go
Doc
ahead, chime in.
sometimes.
Yeah, we waiting. Come on, we waiting, girl. When
Real
you getting your
soon, real
doctorate
soon,
degree?
real soon.
Okay, all right, all right. What's going on, Chime? I'm sorry, let me be professional. What's going on, Chimala? How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Um, but I'm doing great. How are you?
I am absolutely wonderful. Of course, it's always great to see you. So listen, family. Chandler and I, we were hanging out at Essence, and we had a chance to run into each other and see each other and do all of those things a couple of
Hmm.
weeks ago. And for those that are not familiar, the Essence Music Festival is in New Orleans every year around 4th of July. And it has a lot of empowerment stuff that goes on at the convention center, Ernest Morial Convention Center. And then they have the music festival at night. They have a lot of concerts and celebrities and acts and all of those other things. It's an amazing time here in New Orleans, right? So if you have an opportunity, put that on your schedule. It's an incredible crowd. It's a mature crowd. And I
Yeah.
say mature because y'all know what I mean. Because sometimes we could go to events and we turn up, but this is a mature crowd. It's
Yes.
very polished and it's very powerful. So if you haven't been, I would advise you to put this on your calendar for next year and come on down. And no, you can't stay with me. But today, as we were conversing, right, and just catching up and laughing, and a matter of fact, shout out to your aunt, Angie. Shout out to Aunt Angie. Hey, Aunt Angie, what's good? I
I'm
know she's
gonna
gonna be
love
like
that.
this book. So, but in all sincerity, we were having a conversation just about mental health as a totality, as a
Mm.
whole, right? And in today's what's going on in today's society, in today's economy, and God knows what's going on at the White House. We don't know what's going to happen in the next moment,
Oh my.
but there's a lot of pressure
Yeah.
that's on individuals. And I was like, you got the whole counseling background, so I'm gonna turn it over and let's talk a little bit. So first, before we get into everything, Chimey, what? Who are you? Tell her who are you? And I don't want to know nothing about you are Xavier Prepper and all. I don't want to know about that. But who
Right.
are you?
Well, I'm a prepper, proud prepper, as a matter of fact. We celebrated our 35th reunion a few weeks ago. But
Oh.
people don't even know what that means probably from, not here. But um I am a licensed therapist. I've been doing this for about 10 years now. Going on 11 years. Before I got into being a therapist, I was an educator in a school system, and I just realized that a lot of my students were coming to me, their parents, for a lot of advice.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Yes.
it was just a lot of trauma involved and a lot of things that went beyond the classroom. So that inspired me to
Mm-hmm.
go back to get my master's in counseling and kind of switch over from education side to more of counseling and therapeutic work.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I understand that it's been fulfilling to you, and I know it's been a lot that's going on, and it becomes fulfilling to you. But inside of that, talk. Let's go a little bit further for the family. Let's go a little bit further, right?
Okay.
What's going in the world is going on around the world. I mean, talk to us from a counseling standpoint. Where mentally, where are we, especially as men? Where
Yes.
are we?
I think that we're at a crossroads in the mental health system actually, because mental health has been for years. I think it was always it's always been important, but I think the
Mm-hmm.
world is seeing it more now that there's a need for mental health therapy. COVID, in after COVID, we saw numbers of anxiety and depression increase
Yes.
dramatically,
Mm-hmm.
especially in Black men, um,
Okay.
and women too. But because I work at a university now and I do private practice on the side, I just see that a lot of young Black men, they want to come into therapy. They just
Yes.
are afraid to make that step. And so I had a huge connection with a lot of my mm, I want to say male students, because some of them had never ever talked about their problems ever. Trauma, grief,
Right. Yes.
depression, um,
Mm-hmm.
anger management, how the world sees them, microaggressions that occur
Yeah.
daily. And I wanted to
Yes.
really talk about that, because that is huge right now as it relates to what's going on politically, because of the microaggressions, the racism, the systematic racism, the hidden racism, the
Mm-hmm.
assumptions of you should be a certain way because you're a Black man, or you shouldn't know that much because you're a Black man, or you're very articulate because those types of things that they witness even in a university setting, but also preparing them for the real world.
Yeah. No, that's good. So a couple of weeks ago, we had the opportunity to do a podcast on why men don't talk. Right? And it was amazingly received.
Yes.
Just amazingly received. The numbers was, I mean, the numbers were off the charts, right?
Mhm.
And
Mm.
and by the way, shout out to everybody that sent in thoughts and prayers and all of those comments, and I appreciate that. In that being said, though, why do you think that? And all of those things you began to articulate,
Mhm.
even from the microaggressions, why do you think that? From your professional prowess, why do you think people are going through those things?
I think that there's a huge stigma when it comes to mental health, not just with Black men, or
Yes.
with culturally for Black families as well, all around.
Hmm.
I think that, and that's what we've been trying to do as therapists, is trying to help reduce that stigma. We had a campaign at Xavier a few years ago called "It's Okay to Not Be Okay." And what
Yeah.
we did was
Yeah.
put signs up all around campus, and we were going into the dorms, like on the first floor, just letting them know where we were, because many students know that they can come to us, but they never come, or they need to see a face that they can relate something to. And
Hmm.
I think also the reason is because there's a stigma, there's a certain image that Black men think they have to put forth in the world, and they are afraid to be vulnerable.
Yes.
And so once they step into that comfort zone of, what, it's okay, like, if I tell how I feel, or if I'm hurting, or if my anger is a form of hurt, that's because anger is an emotion, right? So
Yes. Yes.
but learning how to hone that. I had one client who he struggled with anger management really badly before he came to college, and he knew he had to get it in check in order to survive college. So we went through
Yes.
many different levels of, cognitive behavior therapy, just trying to help him kind of revert his thinking, or just when he felt overwhelmed. But it crossed over into his relationships, and that's where I see a lot of, I would say, disparities, I guess, because
Yes. Yes.
the
Yes.
females also, they're on the receiving end of that, but then it's, how do they still remain soft and feminine in when they're trying to defend themselves in a situation where they feel like, oh gosh, this guy's a narcissist. Oh my gosh, she doesn't know how to handle his anger. And so relationship and how to
Mm-hmm.
date and understand what each other wants from each, with communication, I should say, that's just a huge problem with this society and this
You
age.
know, I love that you say that, and I love that you actually bring that out because it's a both sides. And a lot of
Hmm.
people think it's the male, oh, it's the
No.
female, but it's actually both
Yes.
sides to that.
Yes.
So when we're talking family, um, and when we're talking, we're not talking to a specific person. We're
Hmm.
talking to crush that spirit that
Mm.
is falling all over to people. So
Yes.
there is a side. Now, Chimala is a powerful woman, highly successful, all of that other stuff, right?
Mhm.
I've done decent in my life.
Yeah.
So when we're coming, we want to be there to elevate people. So when you're listening to this family, make sure you're listening and not hearing to respond.
Mhm.
That's a whole nother subject. We gonna
Yes.
start ringing my bell in a second. But why I'm saying that is because inside of relationships, right? The society as a whole, for the most part, say it's the man's fault. It's always the man's fault,
Mhm.
right? It's the man's fault.
Right.
Now, we have issues as men. We have challenges.
Yes.
We do. Men, I know y'all don't want high five me on that. We got some challenges, bros,
But
fellas,
so do women.
partners, right? But on the flip side, so do females. Now the
Right.
question becomes, how do we, as Lady Chamberlain just said, get past the foolishness
Mm.
and truly get into the depths of it? So I want to talk to you, Chiming, now from that perspective. Now
Mhm.
we didn't set this all up. So let me talk to you from that perspective, right?
Right.
So I'm a male, right? And act like you don't know me. So how is it that I become vulnerable with that lady or that female,
Mhm.
but I never received that love from my mama?
Okay. That's okay. So that's what
Yeah,
I'm
let's
so
talk.
glad you
Let's
said
talk
that.
about it.
Yes, because
And then
that's where
on the reverse, from the female side, but never got love from her daddy. Yeah,
exactly.
let's talk about it.
Yes, because that's where the trauma comes from, right?
Yes.
And if we don't work through our own individual trauma,
Mm-hmm.
eventually it's going to come out. It may not come out the first year, the second
Mm-hmm.
year. It may come out in 5 years, 10
Right.
years. And
That's right.
that's because it's been suppressed for so long that the minute when okay, I want to say this, it's been suppressed, but both individuals have to work through their own personal trauma in order to get to a some type of meeting point. And when you said that about powerful women or you women who have education or doing their own thing, and that's great, and but you still, I think, and that's where the women's, I think for the women's perspective, and some women don't want they,
Mm-hmm.
they might bite back at this, but this is true because I've seen it, and even when I do couples, I see this, and so for a woman who is highly educated, she's doing well in life, all that's great, right? But she still has to be feminine and soft for her husband or her mate
Ding,
because
say that again. Hold on, let me ring the bell. Ding, 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 family. Did y'all hear that? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I
Ring the
mean,
bell,
yeah, I mean,
baby.
but I mean, that's very true. And just because a woman is showing femininity and that softness towards her mate, it doesn't diminish her power. It doesn't diminish your greatness.
Yes.
we have to let go of like that pride, that sense of, oh, oh, I can't be, I don't
Yes.
want to be looked at like this. And that's where, because no man wants to feel emasculated. Okay.
Oh,
And
you preaching now, girl.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And so sometimes women unintentionally emasculate
Hmm.
and some do it intentionally. But the
That's right.
ones who do it intentionally are usually the ones in the beginning, if they're not dealing with their stuff properly before they even get to their stuff, is because, like you said, they may have had a lack of not having a father around, or a proper father figure. Doesn't mean a direct father, or biological, but
That's right.
having a father figure.
Hmm.
I just know for me personally, my mother, I was my mother. I didn't have my father there, but I also had like three uncles who I looked up to very, very, very highly. So
Right.
my uncles took a very, very, very huge part in my life. So that kind of replaced that father figure that wasn't there in the household with me, because my mom and my dad were divorced. So at a
Hmm.
very young age. But I think that for men who have issues with their mother,
Yes.
sometimes it's very difficult for them to be vulnerable because they haven't been shown that from mom, or that sense of care and love. Because I know from having two different, I have a daughter and a son, there's a different type of parental relationship with each one of them. So
Yes.
it's all about love and care and guidance, but at the same time you still have to show your children that they can be sensitive. It's okay, they can talk.
Hmm.
And what we have to do is, if we did not receive that growing up, or if there was some conflict there, we have to work on reversing that cycle.
Yes.
And we talk about this a lot when I consult with my other therapists, when we do our consultations about college age kids. A lot of them are, by the time they get to us, sometimes mental issues don't even develop till you're like 20s, 23, especially like bipolarism sometimes doesn't even show up till you're about 23, 24, because your brain is still developing. So they know that something was going on with them. Maybe they were really like depressed a lot, and their parents were like, "Oh, you're depressed. What? You gotta get
Right.
over it." No, they needed help.
Hmm.
And you just,
Yes.
like, I don't want my child to notice. I don't want to be labeled. But see, some other races and cultures, they've been getting help. Like
Hmm.
white women, I'm just being honest. Some Caucasian people, they go get a pill for anything. Not saying that you want to try anything
Hmm.
to drugs. I'm just saying that when they go through stuff, they go seek help. And your health, when we say health, people forget that your mental health is a part of your physical health as well.
That's
So
right.
taking care of that psyche part is going to eventually come out either the wrong way, or you need to deal with it. So I think those both parties have to be willing to say, look, you know what? I didn't get the proper help I need. Maybe my mom wasn't equipped to do what she was supposed to do. But since
Hmm.
I
That's
know
right.
better, I'm going to do
Right.
better now.
But now that goes into from a male, and I'm only talking from the male side this time. That also goes into though why they don't talk. Because if you've
Yes.
been demasculated, if that energy in the house is not
Hmm.
right, if the
Hmm.
people around you not right, people talking, oh, you man up, you hard, men don't cry, all this
Hmm.
foolishness that you walking
Yes.
around with, and now by the time you get to, you know, 20, 21,
30.
22, now all
Right.
of a sudden it's like I ain't crying, whatever. Yeah, oh, you need, I'm doing that, because those
Mm-hmm.
walls are up, right?
But that frustration, all of
Yes,
that, it has to come out some kind of a way. And whether it's
correct.
coming out negatively, positively, in between, it's coming out. It's being projected onto somebody somewhere.
Hmm.
And
Yes,
that's key what you said about um the way that men feel, because also we have to look at what society has done. What did
yes,
they
that's
place
correct.
on them? What have they been telling them for years? Oh, and that, see what you said about foolishness, about crying. I know when I was a teacher and I was teaching sixth grade at one time, and that's when your hormones
Hmm.
are in place. Hormones is crazy in sixth grade, right? So,
Right.
but I had a kid who his mother was an alcoholic, and
Hmm.
and she would tear him down. So, but his grandmother was raising him, but his mother would come and go. She would tear him down with her words when she was drunk so badly. He was a good kid, but I could tell the days when his mom was at him, because he would just be totally different. And one time after school, he was just so in so much pain, and just hugged him. I said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And he broke down crying and he was like, "I'm just tired. I'm tired of going to my house every day and seeing him
Hmm.
like this." His
Yes.
mother even, and I taught this kid, I mean, I got to know him all the way up through high school and followed him, just what he was doing. And his mother died, I think, before he got to high school. But um, it was just so, and he always told me, he was like, "I never even talked about my feelings until you were my teacher."
Hmm.
That was one of the things that really inspired me to go back to. But I'm just saying and I was like, it's okay I told him it's okay to cry. Like, you don't have to always be tough. Like,
Right.
and for us to expect that is wrong.
I agree. Now, I don't want to, I want to shift just a tad
Okay.
in all of those spaces, but now, because I don't want to leave our audience with just, okay, these are the issues. How do we
Hmm.
get to now the solutions, right? How do we
Right.
now start to do the process? And I'll be transparent, right? I know when I first started looking at this and looking into my own anger and why I
Hmm.
was at, doing whatever, it
Hmm.
took me, family, it probably took me about 5 to 7 years to do a
Hmm.
real deep dive on what was the root cause
Yeah.
of where the anger was
Hmm.
coming from, where
Hmm.
I can start to begin to work on healing in
Yes.
those places.
Mm.
So what are some of the tools? What are some of the ways that collectively we have some tools in our toolbox that when things happen,
Yes.
that we can turn to these toolboxes?
The first one I would say is, if you are feeling any type of extreme anxiety, depression like symptoms, is to get
Hmm.
assessed by a licensed therapist or
Okay.
psychologist, or even your general practice doctor. They can,
Yes.
and now they do them. They do very minuscule ones, but they do them when you go when you go to a doctor's office, a regular doctor's office, medical doctor. They usually say, "Oh, how you been feeling today?" Or, have you been depressed in the last 6 months? When they ask you those types of things, that's really what they're doing. They're doing what they call a depression screener. So that's
Hmm.
called,
Hmm.
yeah, it's called a PHQ-9. And so usually the first step is just acknowledging that you need to go get seen and checked out.
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
And once you do that, and some people have therapists and also need psychiatrists. We have a psychiatrist that works with us as well, at Xavier, so they're part-time, and that's for medication based. But some of the students who see psychiatrists also see a therapist. They have a team of people. And when you are in depression, that's what I want to bring up. Depression has really increased with Black men as well. Um, and suicidal rates have gone up that were down
Yes.
20 years ago.
That's
So
right.
even suicidal ideation for
Yes.
young people has increased by almost 50% compared to
Not
20.
now, Challenge, as you go, just now again, it's not for me, but I just want to make sure what is suicidal ideation? Because some people may
So-
not know what that is. So I
Right.
want to make sure if you
Okay.
in South America, you know exactly what we're talking about.
Okay. Suicidal ideation is when you you are just going, see, you're going through a whole lot, right? You're going through a
Yes.
whole lot of things, a lot of stuff coming at you at one time, and you just happen to be thinking, not saying you're going to act it out, but you're thinking, man, I just wonder if how life would be if I wasn't here.
Yeah. Hmm.
Or you're thinking about it so much to the point where you're like, I'm kind of concerned. I need to talk about this because I don't want to go any further. I want to be
Yes.
here. I just don't feel like being here anymore. So those
Hmm.
types of things, that's what we call suicidal idea, because you're thinking about it, it's an idea, but you haven't really acted
Yes.
yet. But the
Hmm.
the issue is that when and when you say solutions, okay, so part of that solution is if you're in therapy already, or and those things are happening, or you're coming because of those things, what we do is we create safety plans. We try to do things like finding out what your support system is besides us. Because let me say this about therapy: therapy is a tool, but it's not supposed to
Hmm.
be all the time just for life. And we were trying to prepare you to handle issues when you cannot get to us as well.
That's right.
because we can't be on call 24/7. We have lives as well, but we're on call sometimes with different agencies that you work with. But that and when you said that about the solution piece, um,
Mm-hmm.
creating a supportive system that you can trust, that's important, especially when you may not have a supportive family. You may not have a family who even wants to talk about mental health. They want to just, sometimes you're the only one in your family that's saying, hey, we need to talk about this. We need some help, right? But if you can find someone you can trust, even if you're diagnosed with like bipolarism or severe depression or generalized anxiety disorder. But one thing I can say about the generation, this Gen Z and all these other generations after us, they're very, very aware of their mental health. And they do come in and they don't mind talking about it. So that's a good thing for the most part. But there's some work to do. But I think finding a supportive system, if you do have a therapist that you like and you really relate to, because sometimes that first one is not the right one. You may have to
That's
try.
right.
Sometimes it's not a good connection. Being at Xavier University has really made me very self-aware of the fact that our young people really like to see therapists that look like them.
Mm-hmm.
We have a sexual advocate lady who works with us, and she's Caucasian, very sweet. She loves the students, and they love her. But sometimes when something happens, like a sexual assault report or something like that, and she has to call one of us, she's like, at first she used to be like, well, I don't understand why, I wasn't just enough. And I have to tell her, it's not about you. It's about what they perceive and what they feel comfortable with. And they're not going to talk to you if they don't feel comfortable and they can trust you. So that's huge.
That's right.
Students have told me that. My clients have told me, I am so glad that we have 4 Black therapists in this office because I've gone to other spaces and I did not see them.
Mm-hmm.
For Black men. We need more Black men who are therapists because sometimes
Yes.
they want a Black man. We had a Black male who's our director, our previous director, and sometimes we would be like the guys they want to see you, like they come to us, but some of them say I want to see a guy, a Black
Mm-hmm.
guy who looks like me,
Yes.
who's trained in this field, and we do have them, but it's disparities. We really need, it's a disparity. We need to have more. But besides having a therapist, seeking the help and being consistent, that's another thing too with therapy. And realizing that the therapist is there to guide you and help you with tools, but the work comes from the client. The
That's
work is
right.
going to be, what am I going to be doing differently than what I was doing before? What can I try just because this other stuff I've been doing just hasn't been working?
Yes.
So I think that piece, and also knowing whatever area that you're located in, knowing what those suicide hotline numbers are. And I'm going to say for America, it's 988. If you are struggling with suicidal thoughts, you can dial 988 24 hours a day, any day, and someone will pick up the phone.
That's
We
right.
have health first aid trainings with them all the time. Um, Also knowing you're local, like here in Louisiana, I know there's 211 for the mobile crisis unit. They're very, very available. They come help us out all the time when we have students who are suicidal. And people they tend to think, oh, kids in college, they don't go through that. Oh, yes, they do. um, and we have prevented many. I will say this too, but a very sad thing happened at Xavier this past year. We had our first suicide since I had been working there, and it was a Black female.
Mm-hmm.
She was a freshman student. Um, I didn't work with her directly, but I pray for her family daily. The Xavier community is still healing from that, but it was a situation where we only saw her one time. She came in as a crisis. Where my colleague who saw her, and we believe that she was already in that huge crisis stage before she even came to us, and it was really probably just a lot going on we didn't know about. And even with us as trained therapists, and they tell us this all the time, you can do everything you can, create a safety plan, do all these things, suicide contract, check on them, uh, wellness checks, but there is a possibility they still might go out and do it. And we don't want to hear that, but it's true. Some people will come to you when their mind is already made up.
Yes.
Unfortunately. So we did a huge thing after that happened. We had a huge church service by Xavier being, a Catholic community, but they pulled everybody together and everybody prayed and just tried to get the students who had been even either going through that or had someone they knew of to just kind of heal. And it was effective. And I think that they've learned a lot too as well on some things that we need,
Mm-hmm.
um
Yeah.
mentally in our clinic. But to go back to what you're saying, just to kind of wrap that up, having those three things I think is huge. And if you need a psychiatrist for medication, not being afraid to try the medication. We have
Hmm.
a huge stigma in our culture that, oh, yeah, Jesus is going to fix it. And we know that, yes, spiritually, I'm a believer too. But also, God
Hmm.
gives us tools sometimes to use to help us along with that spirituality and that development.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I don't think everybody understand a lot of stuff from a black standpoint. Some of the things we go through on a daily basis, right? Is not to disregard any other race, but we
Yes.
go through a lot, and a lot of people don't know that. I remember it might have been last season or the season before. I can't remember, but I did a podcast on Willie Lynch. It's not about me
Mm.
trying to self promote, but it was a podcast I did on the Lynch syndrome. I think it was, or the
Mm.
or something to that effect, something Lynch,
Mm.
and it was about understanding where that energy came from and how it's still relevant in some
Yeah.
people's spaces today. And a lot of
Mhm.
it has to deal with the African American community. So all of those things we have to take into consideration, even when you talk about why men don't talk, why we don't go to counseling, why we don't go to the doctor. Why if the wife say, "What's wrong?" "Oh, I'm good," and knowing
Mm.
that you in that certain
Not good.
space. Now, let me pause here. That's true from that standpoint. Also, ladies, make sure when he come in and you see he's different,
Mhm.
don't now start talking about why you take the trash out. Ma'am, that may not be the time
Yeah.
what we want to talk about why we didn't take out the trash. Let's
Right.
first figure out, hey, are you good? You kind of off a little bit. On the flip side, hey, baby, what's you good? You off a little bit. It just
Mhm.
may be need a time for the
Right.
other individual to kind of let it out
Right.
because we want the home
To be a safe
to be
space.
a safe space.
Yes.
We want
Yes.
the home to have that energy of a home, not a
Mhm.
house. Y'all catch me on the backside. And I'll let y'all know what that means on the backside. But we have to make sure in those spaces, as we began to climb on out of here with this episode, one of the things I want to give you the floor with, Chamala, is this. I want to ask you a question. You being a seasoned veteran, you was served the military. I'm gonna make you laugh. You carried the X in XUP. You marched in
No, no, I don't know
parades.
what
You
that is.
saw the world. You went to Howard. You graduated at Southern. I'm sorry, you graduated from SUNO. All of those
What
other
did all this
things.
mean?
All that's great. But what advice would you leave to our young ladies and our young men, our older ladies and older men? What advice would you leave right now? All of this stuff going on. What advice you leave? I'm gonna give you the floor. Talk to our people.
Okay. First I want to piggyback on what you just said about when a man comes home with that and the check-in, that check-in is important. That is very
Yes.
important. I totally agree with you on that. Um, because I think as Black women or any woman who's I'm saying Black because I'm talking about Black culture, but who's married or in a relationship, we have to remember, especially if you're married to, I would say a Black man. Some of it is like I said earlier. I'm going back to what I said earlier. Microaggressions that they're dealing with every day on a job, racism, political expectations, political stigma, socioeconomic pressure, all these things they're dealing with. And sometimes they don't have they're not comfortable enough to talk to those people on the job about it. So they got to talk to somebody about it. So that should be their
Yep.
wife or their partner, right?
Mhm.
And
That's
then
right.
when they do talk about it and they talk about frustration with it, being able to listen. I may not need you to always solve it. I just need you to listen
Yeah.
because there may not be a solution. It's just, you know what, I got it off my chest and it's good. But I just wanted to just add to that because I know that that was great what you said, and I just wanted to add to that because I think that's important, and vice versa for the female too, because females deal with stuff on the job as well,
That's right. That's
microaggressions as
absolutely
well,
correct.
but that we should be that supportive piece for each other. But I would leave this. I'm going to say this. There are many, many resources. There's something called mental health for, I think it's for the culture or something like that. It's on Instagram. You can just kind of type it in and it pops up with all kinds of things you can follow. There's um I would say once you've built that community of support, and I was going back to the psychiatrist piece because I wanted to say this. Medication comes in all forms and fashions. We never advocate or negate medication. It depends on the client and what they choose to do, how or their age. But sometimes you need a little bit of both. You need therapy, you may need medication, you may need a supportive team, you may need all of those three things to just help you maintain.
Hmm.
And there are there's a to I want to say to highlight the differences, cultural differences in mental health. There's a book called What Works for Susan Won't Work for Tamika. You can
Yeah,
Google it. It's on Amazon. It's really, really good. We use it as therapists. We use it as a toolkit, but it's really good to see the differences because they're different. There are different nuances that comes from when I go to a doctor. I want to feel like I'm being heard, right?
that's
So
right.
when you go to a therapist, you want the same thing. However, because
That's
that's what
right.
you're there for. But some people are dismissive even in their profession. So
Hmm.
being aware, I would say that being the second thing, being aware of those types of things and knowing what you need as a patient, as a client, and looking for those things. Now, when it comes to solutions, I think understanding that yes, I may have had this trauma, I may have had some rough stuff that has happened to me, but that does not have to determine my future.
Yes.
I can reverse this if I try. I don't want the same cycle to happen to my family. So I'm going to be different than what my parents did to me or my grandparents did to my mother or whomever. So that piece for us, I think, as a culture is huge because we're very family oriented, right? And so we
Hmm.
look at a lot of different uh correlations here and there between family. Oh, I love my family. But we also have to remember that we have to set boundaries with our families as well. And it's okay to
Hmm.
say no. No is a complete sentence. um,
It
and
sure is.
women too, who give, I know a lot, and because we're naturally born nature nurturers, right? But there are times when you just have to say no, even to your kids and to your husband. Oh, you know what? I'm going to just do me today. And it's okay. For men
Girl,
too.
don't say you out there saying no to somebody. Let me stop. I'm just
No,
messing with you. Go ahead,
all the
finish.
time. But it's okay to say, I need to take out time for me. That's
Absolutely.
for men and women.
I couldn't agree with you more. Absolutely.
But I would say finding the resources, finding those things that help you heal, and recognizing that your healing is not on a time. It's not a certain amount of time for anybody. It's different for everybody. Grieving is different for everybody. Processing things are different for everybody. If you've been like sexually assaulted in your past and you've never dealt with it, it's gonna come
Ooh,
out.
it, you better preach on it. It's coming
It's
out.
gonna come out, right? Like in some type of behavior. So,
It's
and also
coming
I would
out.
say this, if you have that spiritual desire to grow as an individual, and I say this because I know that for me, this profession was not just because Chimela wanted to do it. I believe that God had intervention in what He has put in my life, and discernment for me to help others. But
Right.
self-care is important. That spiritual piece. If you're growing spiritually, you want that also to have balance, spiritual work life
Hmm.
balance. All those things matter. So as you're trying to maneuver through this space of what's good, what I should do, I shouldn't do, especially young people, I think, and older people too, but especially for them because I work their population a lot. I say they are learning how to do life as they matriculate through college. And we are there to just help them along the way. So
That's right.
that's what I would say. And read, research, advocate for yourself, advocate for good health. And if you're not getting it, go somewhere else.
Absolutely. All right. So now this is the first time you being on the show, and we're a little thrown off at times. We all good. And I know you had your New Orleans, as some people say, not roots, but roots. I know you down in them roots with people and doing crazy, just doing you. I know you're part of a Mardi Gras crew and all of this
Yeah,
other
yeah.
stuff,
It's
big
all for the
time. And
culture.
shout out to the coach and all your
Mhm.
people and all that stuff. But look, you can't get off this line. You can't hang up. You can't dismiss yourself until you greet the people of New Orleans. Now, there's a special way we do it on the show.
Okay.
For all my regulars, y'all know what's about to come. Y'all should see it. Y'all should see how she looking like, what have I signed myself for now? Whoa, come on. Shout out to your sorrow. Shout out to your sorrows. All everybody.
Be
Yeah.
fine.
But guess what? You was the ace of
Beta
your
Phi
line.
Beta Boo in the house. Beta Phi
You was
Beta.
you was the ace of your line.
Yes, I was.
That was the
I'm
problem of
short.
your line. Anyway, as I move forward, all right, come on. All right. So you ready to shout your all right. You ready to shout your people out? So how we do it for all of our first time guests. Oh, now we do it. So we got to greet the people of New Orleans. And this is how we greet them. You ready? Now, when
Mhm.
I do it, after I finish, you got to follow me. You ready?
Okay.
All right. Wow.
Wow.
Oh Lord. Y'all pray for her. Y'all know these people that's these highly educated,
Did it.
uh, sophisticated ladies, all your Zeta ladies out there. Shout out to the Zetas. All y'all. And you gonna come now. You down in the dirty, and you go tell me why, girl. You about to be fired. I'm taking all your New
I
Orleans
thought I
calls.
did.
Call
I did
your
pretty
aunt. Call
well.
your aunt. All right. We're gonna just leave that there. I'm just
Okay,
leave that there.
I'm next time you have me on, I'll be ready.
Ain't no. Ain't no next time you get there's only one time the first time. No. So listen, I appreciate you for stopping by, hopping in with us on this wonderful Monday. So listen, before we do that, I just want to ask: is there a way that the people can contact you, connect with you, if they want to reach out? How can they do it, and how can they get in touch with Chimela?
Yes. You can look me up on psychologytoday.com, psychologytoday.com. I have all my credentials listed on there, how you can reach me, how you can schedule a telehealth appointment. I will be doing some group practice real soon. And it'll be updated on that website. But Psychology Today has most of the licensed therapists in Louisiana area, what they do, their specialties. And you can reach me through that actual website. There's a number that you can call if you want to set up an appointment, if you want to make a referral, you can do that on psychologytoday.com.
All right, y'all heard it here first. Psychologytoday.com. Don't look for me in there, y'all. Your boy not in there.
Well, you're
So
but you're
listen,
very but you are a spiritual advisor, so I'm sure that you are available.
I'm available, but I ain't in psychology today. That's a little too close to see. Anyway, let me just leave that alone.
Great.
I love y'all. So listen to all of everybody that's logging in for the first time, and you had an opportunity to listen to Lady Chimerly and all of the powerful things that she has shared. Do me a favor, guys. Go to Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette.com. LETS. Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette.com. All of the previous episodes are there. Every season is there. It's all housed there. We have a lot of information that's there because we want to continue to help everybody, not just be about it, but have the information there so you can continue to be successful in every single walk of your life. Join me on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. I don't do Twitter. I don't do Twitter or X. So don't
Mm.
look for me there.
Hey.
But Facebook, Instagram, what else? YouTube. Go to my YouTube, guys, because y'all will see me with all of my funny faces and how I be looking crazy. just go there, like, subscribe, share. And as my daughter would say, Gabrielle, she would be, and don't forget to leave a comment and hit that notification bell. Hit the notification bell. So listen, guys, Chimela, I appreciate you. Shout out to the family. You know, you only made one mistake in your life, and that's letting your son go to Jackson State. Other than that, you perfect. You are absolutely
Well,
perfect.
look,
How you
we a
gonna let
divided household. You know,
how you
I got
gonna
SU
let
and JSU.
yeah, how you gonna let somebody in your house matriculate to Jackson State? I don't get it. I know
Well,
I know my boy Jeff Landrum is just smiling from ear to ear. I'm like, this is disrespectful. I don't get
no,
it.
but I
And
was
then he was in the
HBCU,
band.
an HBCU.
And
And
then he
they
was in the
prepared him
band.
well. He look, I shout out to my son. He's doing very well in engineering. So you know, they have a
Yeah,
great
we
chemical
shout him
engineering
out. We
program.
got love for him. Yeah, we got
But
love
wait,
for him.
Stanley, I have to also shout out to my grandbabies, Saleha and CJ Jr. I love them. Very dear. I'm a new grandmother, so I just have to say hi to them, my little babies.
Oh,
My daughter Sari, who's an MUA makeup artist, hit her up on Instagram.
oh Lord. Anybody else you want to promote on on Let's Talk? Anybody else you want to promote the sand, the soil, the grass, the dirt? You want to promote Mardi Gras? What
Well,
else you
I
want to
have to
promote?
say, so sweet to my Z5 sorors out there listening. That's all.
Would you
Thank
say
you.
it's so sweet?
So sweet. That's how we're saying. Finding womanhood.
Oh, you say it's so sweet. Okay.
Sweet.
I'm gonna just
Yes.
I ain't gonna say nothing because you was the ace of the line. I'm almost scared to find out
All
how
right,
that
these alphas in the
travels
house.
through. I'm almost nervous to ask any questions on that. I can't even ask what was that line experience. I don't even want to know. Some people want to know. I don't want
What my
to
line name was?
know.
My line name
Huh?
was Brown Sugar.
Right there. See, right
Yes.
there. Just like the movie,
Oh,
right? Brown sugar. You was
that's
the ace,
right.
brown sugar. Lord Jesus. Just everything about this. Brown sugar, but y'all colors are still blue and white. Last I checked, huh?
That's right. That's right. Royal
I'm
blue. Blue.
confused. Oh,
Yes.
royal blue. Make sure y'all get it
Mhm.
right. Royal blue. Oh, royal blue. Oh, get it right.
Got my legacy. So I got to shout out to my mother, my late mother,
Well,
Pamela Thompson.
well, I love Mama Pam. I don't
Yes.
know about you. You know, we got suspect on that, but I love you, Mama. But no, seriously, shout out to you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for
Thank you
all
for
of the
having me.
young people that you have impacted. All of those great things. I really appreciate you stopping by and shouting out to all of the Let's Talk family around the world. So thank you again, family. We're going to see y'all next week on something. I'm gonna have her back. Don't worry, I'm gonna have Chimela back. She's gonna come kick it with us again and sit on back into the seat. And we're gonna have a lot of fun. And it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. So listen, with that being said, I'll see you guys next Monday on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. We out, and I'll see y'all next week, or I'll see y'all on the beaches of the world. Thank you, Chimela. Peace.
Thank
We out.
you. All righty.